Welcome to Finance Dojo. We aim to be the best personal finance educational channel you'll ever need. Click that subscribe button and the notification bell right now so you won't miss out. You'd think that as someone who makes a living by discussing money and finances, I'd keep Excel spreadsheets and financial journals. There is no reason why I should do this. And it's not because I dislike numbers. I discovered a far more effective method for doing it. I've never gone back to budgeting after learning and adopting these new suggestions, and it has simplified and improved my finances greatly. Creating a budget is a typical suggestion for bettering one's financial situation. So why am I not doing it? Budgeting is a failure for most individuals, including me. For the majority of individuals, it's similar to dieting, exercising, or attempting to consume only one potato chip. 33% of those who claim to not keep their budgets are among the 67% of individuals who have one. But in my experience, the percentage is far higher. For the most part, budgets work for a brief period before being broke for a variety of reasons. We may have an issue with our expenditures. What do? Something from their background may be driving them to buy things, or they may have a lot of debt, or they just find it difficult to resist the want to acquire more things. We establish a budget, but what happens in 2 months when your discipline fades away? You get a flat tire and have to go over your budget. And then you're having a rough week and discover you haven't spent any additional money in a month. You're 50% over budget for the following month. You quit budgeting because it's too difficult and stressful, and you say, screw it. Everything gets back to normal a month after the new year. This is a pattern that I see often. I've done this, and a lot of other people have too. Well done for being able to stay within your budget. That's not simply something I can do. So what do we do? Observe yourself. Examining oneself is the first step. This, in my opinion, works better for the majority of people than giving up and making a budget. This is when I began to examine my spending patterns and the reasons behind them in the context of my whole life, rather than just one area where I needed to cut back. Most individuals, like me, squander their remaining funds for the month. This took me a year to do using a couple of the strategies I'll be talking about. I was able to accomplish the opposite, where instead of saving money by default, I had to plan to spend more, which sounds horrible and negative. Many people believe it to be overly extreme, yet it's not. For me, it involved turning my negative experiences into positive ones. It was only difficult since my wife was working somewhere she didn't enjoy, and I was doing a 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. job I didn't like. We weren't happy where we were living. The first place we had was modest in size. The second location was in one of our city's worst neighborhoods. I don't like working evenings, weekends, and holidays. Thus, I want to quit this job. When you're stuck in a job you don't like, are unable to stay put and have a family, or are otherwise unable to pursue your interest, it may be a good motivator. It feels like a little shady and unsettling if you were on this property. Due to these negative factors, we felt compelled to save as much money as we could because we know that if we save X amount of money, we would save $20,000 in a year. If we can save between 50% and 75%, we can relocate to a nicer area, which is exactly what we did. Many residents of our neighborhood or on our street claim their dislike of their jobs and residence as a justification for their behavior. I had a terrible day. My job was stressful, and I just don't feel like cooking. I want to sit back, watch some TV, and unwind. I'll spend some money to do anything because after a tough week, I deserve to unwind or go out drinking. Two approaches to the same circumstance. That has a million times more power than a budget. There are a lot of terrible things in a lot of people's lives, but some individuals are so focused on the negative aspects of their own lives. I've been through a lot, and you've been through a lot, but it may either serve as inspiration to change for your kids and yourself, or it can serve as a justification for staying the same, because this happened to me or because things are so chaotic right now. So I tried a couple of other things. Instead of creating a budget, The first is to focus on what's ahead of me. Second, using the bad things in life as motivation. Third, make an investment plan. By listening to people, observing people, and reading books on these topics, I've consciously sought to maintain my obsession with money in improving my life. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad every year. I have to take action, but talking to people about finances helps me keep focus on what's important in my life. Observing and tracking must come before budgeting and determining. It's crucial to remember not to criticize or make fun of yourself while you are reviewing all of your costs at the end of the month. Simply take a look at them, keep an eye on them, and begin to determine whether they are consistent with your goals and your values. Instead of a budget being the reason why you don't spend money, don't spend it for you. This is where I've ended up after observing and seeing all of this. Because I only make money from YouTube and rentals, I often ask myself if spending money is a wise use of my life. Since I don't have much money, I want to be sure I'm getting something worthwhile in exchange for it and making progress toward my objectives. I've found minimalism helpful in doing that. I became aware of how little of what I was purchasing was required. Yes, at the moment, I wanted them, but now, 5 minutes later, it doesn't matter if I still have them or not. Very few of those 50, 100, or 500 items improve your life and make you happier. After doing this for a while, you'll eventually find that it adds nothing when it comes to time to make a purchase. If I buy this, will I be different at the end of the month or the next month? Will it improve my life in any way? Most likely, the answer is no. But will I quit my job, move to a different house, invest, save money for my kids' college, or give money to people to make a difference in my life? It will, indeed. So there was the change, and because I was so intent on bettering my life and moving on to other things, I went from having a savings rate of 75% to being overly frugal. Although I enjoyed those years of my life, they were too extreme. It all happened because I taught myself to approach every purchase with a mindset of minimalism and to get the most value possible. As a result, I now have a little more freedom, and I'm willing to spend a little more on enjoying myself and saving myself time. I don't have a lot of things, and I'm focusing on staying motivated, improving myself, and saving up. I'm also making sure I have the important things, like the freedom to take a month off, 6 months off, or move somewhere else if I want to. Freedom is 1 million times more valuable than stuff. My life was altered by it. Therefore, I hope it can assist others. Just go out there and make it happen. As always, this video is for educational purposes only and not financial advice. You should always do your own research and speak to a financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.